Today we're going to go over the magnet catch and how to install it. All ZiZZO bikes, except for the Pharaoh, come with a magnet catch. But all ZiZZO bikes have the mounting points for the magnet catch on the rear of the bike and also on the front of the bike right here. So even though the Pharaoh doesn't come stock with a magnet catch, they can be purchased separately and you can add it onto your bike. You'll notice that it comes in two pieces. One is a plate, and one is the magnet. The magnet mounts onto the rear and the plate mounts onto the front at the fork. And to get these pieces mounted, you'll need a 2.5mm Allen and a 10mm wrench. So basically these two tools right here are all you need. When you purchase this from our site, you'll see that all the pieces are included. So you'll see the spring, the fastener, and the two washers. Now be careful when you're taking this apart because there is a spring underneath there and you don't want to lose the pieces. So you see how I'm holding the washer? Because if I don't, you can potentially lose those guys. So I'm gonna, with my hand, after I've loosened it with the tool, I'm gonna take this fastener out, the screw, and one of the washers. Okay, so you'll see there's two washers. We're gonna put one back on there. And now we're gonna walk to the rear of the bike. And basically we're gonna thread this through with the washer being a stop on one end, and then we're gonna push, countering that spring, and we're gonna simply slide that washer on there like that. And then again, with anything that you're screwing or using a fastener, whether it be a nut, bolt, or screw, always start by hand to make sure you don't cross thread anything. And cross threading is bad. It can cause damage to the threads or to the unit itself, whatever you're screwing. I got it in there, threading it by hand. You can see it's getting in there. Finish it off with my Allen. And since I've got it on there, let's get it in. And then just finish it off. Make sure it's nice and tight. And that's it. As a precaution, if you have some Loctite at home, you can Loctite the threads to make sure they don't, it doesn't accidentally vibrate loose or anything like that. And the reason why it's on a spring is because when you do close and fold the bike, it's a little shock absorber, so there's no damage to the frame or to the magnet. Moving to the front of the bike. Again, you'll notice that the plate, it's not magnetic, and there's two bolts or two nuts and two washers. So this end bolt is a nylock or a locking type of nut, and we're just gonna unthread that. We're gonna take one of the washers out, and very similar process to what we did for the magnet. And we're just gonna move over to the front, and you'll see that it's slotted, and it just gives you a little bit of room. And you'll also notice that the bolt is off center from the plate, and again, that just gives you a little bit of adjustment. So if you're, depending how the frame closes, if you've modified your bike and you need to do some adjustments, you can adjust it on the mount itself, and you can also adjust it from its center by just rotating it around like that. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna give ourselves a little bit of room. So I'm gonna thread this nut back in just like that, so more of the thread is coming out on the back side. And I'm going to mount or install the washer first. And then I'm gonna take the nylock nut and just, again, thread it by hand. And using the plate as a little handle, I'm gonna take my 10mm wrench and just start tightening it by hand with the tool until I've got about 1mm of the threads coming out of the end here, just about like that. You see how a little bit of the bolt is protruding through now? And then I'm gonna move to this side and then just gradually thread it by hand, and then again finish it off with the tool, just like that.